that takes us to our next area where Bryn Schaefer is going to go over the Red Fox 4 overview. Now, just raise your hand for those people, and I know you, Steve, you were there, who went to the one-day political leadership, which was a faculty that was given by Ted Harvey. I know I was, yeah, okay, there was a few of us.
Now, some of us have gone to that same course in other places in time, so
Right.
we've done that.
Cool. Good. All right. I'll have information at the end of the meeting about an upcoming event or whatever. But Bryn, you're on.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Bryn Schaefer. Let me just step back a little bit for people who aren't at one of the one-day faculty classes and let you know what that was all about. And that was about giving you tools to fight against all the garbage that we're getting out of government these days. One of those tools was called the Red Fox 4. And I'm not going to go through all the background on that. If you want that, comes to the class that Bill mentioned that's going to be happening in Lehigh Valley. But what it is it's a subjective tool. The premise is all of us have limited time, talent, and resources. So there's tons of stuff you could get involved in. I mean, any one of us can sit here and probably fill up a page of all the fights you could get in. Okay? So the purpose of the Red Fox 4 is for you to analyze all of the fights that you could get in or might want to get in, figure out which is the best fight for you to be in. And that's, and when I say the best, I'm talking about win or lose, whether you win that fight or lose that fight. If you come out of that fight stronger, your group comes out stronger, you come out with more, and to be blunt, political power than you have now. That's what the Red Fox 4 is, to find out what fight is the best for you now. Whether you choose to take that fight is up to you, but it's just a tool to help you figure out what that is. So, what I was going to ask is, I prepared some worksheets for the Red Fox 4. It's a blank template, and I can make it available, send you an Excel file if you want it. But what I was going to do is, it was, Tom, when was that? Like a couple months back, you did a survey online?
Yes.
I was going to ask, there was 5 top issues that came out of Tom's survey. And what are the most conservative issues, or what issue is most important to you? Something like that. And the top 5 rankings were school property tax elimination. The second one was pension reform. Third was Second Amendment. Fourth was illegal immigration, fifth was paycheck protection. I was going to ask people if they're going to come back and do a homework assignment. We don't have time to do all of those today, but we were going to try to run through one of them. But I would ask that everybody take some time, get with your group, or whoever, if you want to do it by yourself, do it by yourself. Just go through that. The thing about the Red Fox 4 is it's subjective and it's comparative. So if you just have one done, it doesn't matter. You need to have a bunch of them done so you can compare the numbers that you're coming up with to see what your best fight is to be in. So today we're going to run through, I think I'm just going to pick paycheck protection to run through. Did everybody get one of the handouts so far? Okay.
Can I interrupt for a second? For those who are waiting to order drinks and food, I'm told someone will be back here shortly.
Okay. So what you see on your Red Fox 4 is there's 4 kind of 5 categories there. What it does is you rate each one of those things on your issue on a scale of 1 to 10. Have it. And then at the end you add them up, and that just gives you a number. Now, like I said before, it's subjective, so it's based on, sometimes it's based on your opinions, sometimes it's based on your best information, so it may not be correct. you have to test it after you're done. But like I said, it's subjective. When you're done with it, you're going to compare it to other issues to see what your best fight is to be in. So I'm going to run through these. The first one is, will it attract new money or people? So I'm going to fall back to a document I printed from the FACO website. It was a letter that one of the members there had written up for the Red Fox Sport. The first one is, win or lose simply by getting into this fight. Will you, number one, get new people or new money into the movement? Will you be able to increase your membership? Will people join your group? Will you get significant numbers of people to sign your petitions? How about attracting contributions? Do you bring in new contributions to pay for this project? Can you raise enough to pay for other projects you want to do? Or does this make your supporters, members question your judgment? Or are you suddenly losing donors? Will anyone join you in this crusade? So I think what I said before was 0 to 10. It's actually minus 10 to plus 10. So you rate that on a minus 10 to plus 10. So as you can see on the sheet that I made, there's a big blank space to the right. That's for you to write your notes in. So, think about the issue with respect to these items. Think about, is this an issue that resonates with donors? If I'm going to go out there and do a petition drive and get these angry people to call their senator or someone like that, am I going to be able to do it with this issue? Are they going to sign my petition and give me their email so I have a list that I can call on, send an email blast out, and hammer it on this guy any day of the week if I need to? So that's what you're looking for there. The second item is, will it help friends and allies? So will you help your political friends? You're going to rate this on a minus 10 to 10. Do the legislators you support benefit by championing this fight? Can they get publicity? Does this help them in their party's caucus? Can this make them a profit at the Capitol? Quote. Does it help them gain support in their district? What about friendly groups that you sometimes work with? Or are they getting universal criticism? Is it drying up their contributions? Are new political opponents suddenly appearing to attack them on this issue? So you're going to take your issue and you're going to vote that, you're going to rate that on a minus 10 to 10. Think about it. Think about how that issue would play out. The third column is win or lose simply by getting into this fight. Will you hurt your political enemies? Are they going to have a hard time explaining their petitions or their positions to their constituents? Will it help dry up their money, especially if they are getting it because of a special privilege granted to them by the state? Does this issue force them to defend the indefensible or tyrannical behavior of government? Or are your opponents using this issue to raise money? Are they attracting new members? Are they surging in the polls? So the FACO document that I'm reading has a note here. It says, politics is frequently counterintuitive, which is why intellectual exercises like the Red Fox score are important. Usually if a fight scores a strong positive on question 1, add money or people, it will score a negative on Q3, hurt enemies. The reason is that your opponents will also use the fight to raise money. Just like when two countries go to war and both get stronger due to mobilization and rearmament. The final item is policy, win or lose just by getting in the fight. What is the upside if we win versus the cost if we lose? If this becomes law, how much will the cause of freedom be advanced? Will this create more liberty or diminish individual freedoms? Does it make the state bigger or smaller? What if we lose? Will government thugs be kicking down your doors? Does it give the state a new tool to monitor the movement of citizens? Does it confiscate property, regulate business, or increase our taxes? What we're going to do, what I'd like to do, everybody, is quickly run through one on paycheck protection. And I just am kind of arbitrarily picking one. I had already prepared a number of these that we did for our group to figure out which fight we wanted to be in. So I'll run through, I don't know if there's a good way to do it with this many people, because it could probably get stretched out forever discussing it. So I'll just throw up an example of one I did and just run through it just so you see kind of how the reasoning went. So this is kind of how your red fox score will look like when you're done.
For Tom?
Will it attract new money or people? And this isn't the full conversation that could have been had on it, but it's part of it. It was, I don't see paycheck protection as a great rallying cry for Pennsylvanians. And I'm not talking about people like us. I'm talking about when we're going out to get petitions filled up, to find out who our other allies could be. The people would be agitated to learn that they were funding union operations to a small degree, but the fact that paycheck protection could cripple their operation may not be as important. So, as far as it was a positive for attracting new money to people, I rated it a 3. Will it help friends and allies? We have here, this will help the individuals personally that have their dues collected automatically. This is not automatically translated to material help for the liberty cause. And there are, as we know in this state, there's a whole lot of people who are pushing for that, politicians that want to see that happen. If they can get that passed, it's going to help them a lot. Doesn't mean they'll be our allies on other issues, but will it hurt? And so we rated that a 5. Will it hurt enemies or their allies? And that's rated a 6. It should severely hurt the public sector unions, which are our enemies almost on tons of issues in the state. So it'll cut their funding way down because now all of a sudden people who don't have to pay dues won't, and thereby the amount of influence they have in the state legislature.
Bryn,
Yes.
question on that?
Sure.
On the union thing here now, this is mostly, yeah, you say public sector unions.
Yes, yes. I'm saying the public sector unions, yeah, those, and as far as there are enemies, that's the enemy there, the public sector unions.
And paycheck protection is only public sector.
Yeah, because, I mean, other unions, like, all the other unions collect their own people already, so.
But if we go out talking to people,
Yes.
that's a key thing to make a distinction of.
Right, and that was kind of why we rated, will it attract new money or people, because the issue gets a little bit complicated when you're going door to door and you've got to explain it. When you say unions, then you've got to discriminate between public sector and private sector unions, and it's a little bit complicated to do in 5 minutes while you're walking door to door, especially to someone who never heard of it before. So that's why I didn't rate that high on that.
I mentioned something.
Yes, go ahead.
On having sued SEIU in 2012, $3 million so far because they have increased the fees for non-members. And I'm going back against them this year in arbitration with Simon Campbell and this one, Pennsylvania's Union for me. There is a constituency where you don't go door to door that's extremely in favor of this. There are 20,000 public sector union members or fees paid who are now paying a lot less and would really like to pay nothing. It's 20,000 people that are already schooled in being politically active from the union, using the same techniques that we're using. So they already know how to play the game, and the way I've been selling it to them, and we're getting hundreds a month. And that's just me. There's other people who should be doing this and getting them to stuff up. You're fine. The bottom line on this, that's a dishwasher. This year it's a big screen TV. You could pay half your mortgage. Okay, that's the bottom line. And if you really like the unions, you can write a check. So constituencies are often hidden. It's not necessarily the rank and file person out there that you just happen to knock on a door who's going to understand or be interested in this. You never know. Dean goes out and knocks on everybody's door and finds all kinds of allies we never expected.
Well, all right, so the point is that you have to keep in mind in all of this, is this, I'm not saying it's not a good issue to fight. This, you have to look at it when you're looking at a whole bunch of different issues. What's the best fight for you to be in? This is for you to pick the best fight for you to be in. So, you know, all of the issues that we bring up, every issue that you would actually analyze would be a good issue to be in. Is it the best one to be in though? That's the point, because you're limited in your time, your resources, and your talent. So, if you want to get the biggest bang for your buck, this is a tool to use. You have to use it. No, you don't have to, but I'm just showing you this is what it is. So, so what is the, and this was just one example, so what is the value of the policy if we win? Just loosening the public sector union grips on the legislator makes it easier for us to win all liberty issues. If we lose this fight, the status quo will continue and unions will continue to buy off and bribe politicians. So the value of the policy if we win is good, it's 5. That's a pretty good number. If we lose, the cost is 0. It's just status quo. So if we lose, if we get in a fight and we lose, we don't lose anything, but if we win big. So this is just, like I said, there's one issue. The total value we have is 19. Now you could do this thing tomorrow and come up with some different numbers, okay? You got to test it. You got to see if it's accurate. But like I said before, this only means anything when you're comparing it to another issue. So I'll see if I can grab one quick. Another one. I'll just open up. You can see we have 7 of them right here. Here's one for liquor privatization. I'm not going to go through it, but just to show you, if you were going to be in a fight and you analyze, this is my subjective analysis between liquor privatization and paycheck protection, the value here was 10. So if those are the only 2 ones I analyzed, the only 2 fights I was interested in, using this tool tells me, okay, the paycheck protection is the better fight to be in. So that's a really quick rundown of the Red Fox 4.